Hi, I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Ben.
Together we are 15 degrees north.
Today we're going to show you the sights and sounds of Jodhpur with special guests.
Hi, this is Imtiaz. I'm the local guide from Jodhpur. I'm thoroughly enjoying with these two lovely gentlemen, Ben and Jeremy. And Jodhpur is super place. You are welcome here. Thank you very much.
Jodhpur is a city in Rajasthan, the northwestern province of India.
Close to the border with Pakistan, Jodhpur used to be the capital of an ancient kingdom called Marwar.
In the middle of the Thar Desert, the city is known as the Blue City because most of the city's buildings are all painted blue.
Although not overly far from Delhi, this is a city not yet on a tourist map, even though it clearly should be.
With its striking landmarks, authentic old town and buzzing streets, this is a city that is sure to appear on the travel radar sooner rather than later.
India is remarkably cheap, so we decided to hire a guide for our time in Jodhpur.
It's almost like we think we're made of money or something.
But that's the thing, in India we kind of are.
Our guide was called Imtiaz and he was an absolute star, taking us all over the city and explaining everything for us.
So, item number one on our agenda, why is Jodhpur blue?
Well, the colour blue is a holy colour for Hindus and is usually associated with the Brahmins, the priests.
One day the Brahmins decided to talk to the Maharaja about problems in the city, but when they went to his castle on the hill above the city, they were forbidden from seeing him by his advisors. Time and time again they were turned away and the Brahmins were not impressed.
So, in one of the world's earliest publicity stunts, they decided to paint all the houses in their distinct blue.
Then the Maharaja, completely unaware of the beef between his government and the priesthood, looked out from his window across the city and noticed that one area turned completely blue. He asked his advisors why.
They were unable to answer him, so he decided to go and find out for himself.
He trotted down into the blue district, leaving his advisors back in the castle, and tada, suddenly the Brahmins were able to speak to him unimpeded.
It turns out that the Maharaja was very interested in what they had to say indeed, so when he returned to his castle, the treacherous advisors were punished severely.
And they painted the rest of the city blue as well to permanently remind them not to act above their station again.
Centuries later, and the streets are still painted blue.
Which makes for a truly distinctive city to visit.
And the perfect backdrop to plaster across your Instagram.
If you've watched any of our previous videos, you know that we were in Chefchaouen earlier this year in Morocco, and there's a lot of similarities, aren't there?
The blue.
Yeah, yeah. Everything is literally drenched in the colour blue, and it's a very similar shade. What about the differences, Jeremy?
Are there any?
Well, Chefchaouen doesn't have a big fort.
Oh, you've got the fort, yes, you've got the fort here.
And there's
the palace.
Yeah, and there's little touches that do feel like fundamentally Indian, like
the paintings.
Yeah, the paintings and the murals. I think it's a little bit more rustic, but in a beautiful way. Like they're not
the cows.
Yes, actual cows sitting
everywhere.
on the street.
Love it.
It's not like a carbon copy of Chefchaouen at all.
No.
So if you've been to one, you should definitely go to the other. They are different.
Jodhpur is excellent.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Jodhpur has only 2.3 million people living in it.
By European standards, that's a massive city.
But by Indian standards, it's basically a village. In fact, it's only the 42nd largest city in the country.
The city centre is fairly small and easy to get around on foot, and we just loved getting to soak up the distinctive Indian atmosphere.
I mean, it's mental, just look at it.
And it smells great too, with the beautiful smell of all the curried spices wafting around every corner, as well as incense from every temple.
Just make sure to step over the cows and the little present they've left behind.
There are still Maharajas in India, and Jodhpur has its own.
Jaswant Thada is a mausoleum built to house the Maharajas and their queens after they have died.
It's built from the same marble as the Taj Mahal, and it's really rather snazzy.
A hop, skip and a jump away and you're at the Mehrangarh Fort.
It was the home of the Maharajas for centuries, ending only when they realised that they no longer needed to protect themselves from their neighbours, and a palace would be much more comfortable.
Although originally built in the 15th century, much of what you see there today dates from the 17th century.
According to legend, when it was first built, the Maharaja displaced a Hermetic priest who lived on the hill.
He was extremely annoyed at being evicted from his hill, so he placed a curse on the future castle, declaring that it should forever be cursed to have no water.
And seeing as Jodhpur is in the middle of a desert, that was kind of a big deal.
He knew what he was cursing.
It's almost like he planned it.
We don't know whether the curse worked or not, because the Maharaja took matters into his own hands and enacted a tried and tested remedy for curses placed by angry priests.
What's that?
Burying a man alive in the foundations. Apparently the man did it willingly.
And the water?
The castle had loads of it, so it all worked out fine for everyone.
Apart from the man in the wall.
Well, apart from him.
And the homeless priest.
Each screen is unique and not two are alike. Ancient times, there was a veil system, the parda system. The women, they were not allowed to come in public. But whatever functions were happening here, like royal coronation or other royal assemblies, they would peep from there, but people here could not see them. Can you see inside a bit? Nothing is visible. Yes?
Nothing at all.
But when I take you inside, you can easily recognize this courtyard.
Today, the Maharaja is still beloved by his people and is a very keen polo player.
In fact, polo and equestrianism is in the royal family's blood.
So much so that Jodhpurs, the trousers worn by jockeys worldwide, are named after them.
The interior of the fort is divided into multiple courtyards, each as ornate as the last, and there are courtyard after courtyard after courtyard. It's stunning, with beautiful and intricate designs that are carved into the stonework, into the woodwork as well. It's absolutely beautiful.
So this place is called Jodaji's Falsa, and this fort was built after one sacrifice of a live man. So here, this is the actual place where a live man was buried, and this was because of the curse. To remove this curse, one man was buried alive in the foundation. And this is the actual place, and this is the red sandstone showing his eternal sacrifice here.
9 kilometers from the fort is Mandore.
Mandore was the capital of Marwar before Jodhpur, so when the latter was built in the 15th century, this once bustling city became abandoned almost overnight.
The remaining structures are now maintained in parkland.
Some of the buildings date from before the construction of Jodhpur, but this site became the royal cremation ground, so several of the buildings are actually cenotaphs to the many Maharajas whose bodies were cremated here.
Nowadays, the Maharaja lives at his palace here.
A tiny portion of it is open to the public, but most of it is now a hotel.
And the cheapest room here costs £700 a night.
Wowzers.
We head back to the hub of the old town, and I have to say we bloody love Jodhpur.
So what better way to end our trip than a romantic rooftop meal overlooking the Blue City?
Thanks for watching.
Be sure to like, share and subscribe.
And follow us on Instagram at 15 Degrees North.
Make sure to tune in to our next video to see where in the world we end up next.
See ya.
Bye!